Welcome guys, today we're going to be taking a look at rent increases across the United States right now. As everybody knows, things have been looking a bit hectic, and it's not only very hard to get a place a lot of the time, they're also extremely expensive right now. So we're going to look at some of the major cities across the country. We're also going to be comparing this to things like the annual rent increase limit in some of these cities, as well as just the general trends of salaries to see kind of where we're at in the situation and why there are so many issues. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into some of this data and we can start analyzing what's going on here. So the very first thing that I want to do is kind of pick out a few major cities and tell you guys the average rent per month for a one-bedroom apartment, and we're going to pick out a few. We're going to start with the very number one spot. Of course, it's going to be New York City with an average price of $3,600 per month for a one-bedroom apartment. Absolutely ridiculous. Number two is San Francisco at $3,000 per month. Another one that I do want to point out is going to be Boston at spot number 4 at $2,500 per month. We've got Los Angeles at spot number 6 for $2,360 per month. And let's just go with two more here. We've got Seattle, Washington at $1,930 per month. That's spot number 12, by the way. And finally, let's go with somewhere near me, which is going to be Portland, Oregon at spot number 32, $1,500 per month. And I do have a sponsor for this video, guys. It is Dossier, so thank you so much to them for sponsoring this. As everybody knows, every little bit helps right now, and as you'll see, they do make affordable products. Dossier reproduces classic high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the price, keeping the exact same high quality by cutting out all the expenses and the brand tax. Any scent is $39 or less, while designer scents range from $50 up to $280 in retail. This powdery tobacco scent is inspired by a line from Tom Ford at a much more affordable price. There are free exchanges and returns forever. Dossier has a welcome offer with up to 20% off the website. However, you can get up to 30% off your first order by using the discount link in the description of my video. Dossier has a new payment method that lets you earn store credit. Select cash at the last step of the checkout and you can earn yourself a $10 bonus credit and even get rewarded with 10% store credit on every order after that. So we can see these prices are already very high. You know, these averages have been blown up these last couple years. But a very interesting thing is going to be looking at the year-on-year percentage increase in the average rent. And the one that just blows me away, but isn't really surprising at the same time, is going to be New York City. The year-on-year percent increase is 40.1%. 40% in 1 year is the average increase. And so the other thing that I want to compare this to right off the bat is going to be San Francisco, again, spot number 2, another place that people often think of as just being ridiculously high rent, because it is, and that is going to be at 7.5% year-on-year increase. And so there is something interesting happening here. I did look up that San Francisco does indeed have a rent annual increase limit, and in 2020 that was 7%. I can't seem to find what it is for 2022 for whatever reason. There's a few different conflicting options that I'm seeing, but we're just going to go with a rough 7%. And this list is telling us that the rent increase on average is up 7.5%. So not only does that likely mean that most of those rent increase limits are actually coming in at that very top mark for the most part. Not only that, when people move out, you can actually charge a higher rent than the annual increase limit. That's just for people that are staying. And then if you're comparing that to New York City at 40%, that's just unbelievable, the amount of rent increase that's happening in New York City. A few of these other examples that we can look at, of course, Los Angeles has an average rent increase of 18%. So this really does show you a bit of things going on with where people are moving to and where people are moving out of. For example, San Francisco is losing a lot of those high rent paying people because a lot of tech is moving out of San Francisco. So that causes a bit of a difference in the housing situation there. So further down our list, going with some other ones, Washington, D.C., a 5.5% increase. Seattle, Washington, a 21.4% increase. And then we've got Portland, Oregon here at a 6.4%. And another cap there, you know, I think in Oregon right now it is a 9.9% increase limit. So with that being said, again, you're probably going to be seeing some people moving out. You're going to be seeing some people raising that rent to a certain limit. There's different factors involved there, but the numbers don't lie for the averages themselves. But that's not to say that some places aren't actually decreasing. You know, populations that are declining right now are actually going to be having a decrease in the rent price. And there is a couple numbers here that I will share with you guys. For example, let me just scroll up my list here. We actually do see that top 5 fallers is going to be Florida, Arkansas, Hawaii, California, and New York. So across the board, across different states, there's still going to be places that are decreasing. And you guys can see we have about an average there of a negative 6% on those rents, whereas some of the other ones here in Virginia, California, Illinois, Texas, and Nevada, we have about the 6% average here for the median one-bedroom rent. And these numbers here are going to be month on month, by the way. So a 6% average month on month increase, whereas the other end there is a 6% decrease month on month on a median rent for a one-bedroom rent there in those cities. So guys, if we take into account some of the median and mean income levels here, you can already see some interesting things happening. If we take a look, we'll just focus on individual for now, income levels here. The median income level in New York City is $50,825. If you look at the mean, it's $74,834, and I'm sure everybody knows how mean and median works here, but the reason for that is the fact that so many high earners are going to be dragging up that mean super high, which doesn't really represent what's actually happening in New York City. Most people are going to be at a much lower level, which is represented by that median. The true kind of average for most people here is going to be that $50,825 per month here, which is, or per year, sorry, of course, which is absolutely ridiculous when considering those rent prices. So with Los Angeles here, we have the numbers up to 2020, and you guys can see the trend line here. You're not going to have some massive explosion in 2021, and 2022 isn't over, of course, but you're not going to have some ridiculous explosion. It's going to be similar. In 2020, we have $30,225 per year as the median income. In 2019, for example, we have $28,072, and in 2018, it is going to be $26,697. So the increase here in the amount people are making is not even coming close to what is happening percentage-wise with rent in a place like Los Angeles. Again, we can go back to that list, and we're seeing an increase in rent in the last year of 18%. So the difference is not adding up for income levels compared to the rent levels. That's completely unsustainable. Now guys, if we do take a look at Seattle in 2020, the average income was at $52,142. In 2019, $49,000, that is $293. So we are having, again, increases, but if you look at the chart once again, the average increase on rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Seattle is 21.4%. So the percent increase in income average is not even coming close to the average for those rent prices. Now, a further thing to look at here, guys, is the fact that most places want you to have at least 3 times your income for the rent. Of course, you can go on for hours talking about this topic, but I just wanted to look at some data points here and compare a few things just to look and see how ridiculous rent has become. And it's kind of been this way for a long time, but especially in the last year or two, it's been out of hand and it's not really showing signs of slowing down. But that's just something I wanted to look into. So thank you to Dossier for sponsoring this video. If you guys did like this video, I would appreciate you dropping a like. Share your comments with me down below. What do you think about the situation? How is it impacting you? And of course, subscribe to the channel. Stay up to date with future financial, stocks, crypto, and other personal finance videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.